Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, the USA forecast for today's second video. So it's back after a 2-week layoff. We're going to go through the charts to see what's happening across the United States over the next 10 to 14 days, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended CFS, and that's going to take us through the next 4 weeks as well. So I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just say about the first video release today was our nice little 7 AM upload, and we're going to have a 10 to 14 day for the UK and for Europe as well, and that will be coming up later on this afternoon. If you're enjoying the kind of a channel at the moment, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everybody. Doing that, right, let's get rid of the webcam then, so I'm going to turn that off just there. Right, so I'm going to begin. So the big story at the moment is that it's very cool across many parts of America, especially northern and eastern regions. So this is for the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensemble graph for New York. And we can see that the red line, of course, is 30-year upper air temperature average for New York. And we're starting off significantly below average with those upper air temperatures at the moment. And it's going to gradually see a lift up taking place in those upper air temperatures. Dates on the bottom of the chart over the next few days. So by the time we get through to like the early part of next week, we've probably gone close to average, probably back close to average. But in the more extended range, we can see that this warm-up is set to continue. And in fact, it may be that it turns quite hot across many parts of America into like the final week, 10 days or so of May. I would not be surprised if there was a heat wave getting going across many parts of the states, actually, during the last week of May. So a big warm-up looks like it's on the way, but we'll also be turning rather more unsettled and maybe volatile as well. So through the next few days, while it's pretty cool, it's also going to be relatively dry. But as we run out into the weekend, and particularly through to next week, it looks like things will be turning more unsettled for New York, and I think that's pretty representative of many parts of the north, the east, and the Midwest. There's going to be increasing amounts of humidity in the atmosphere, increasing energy in the atmosphere, and that will spark off a growing risk of heavy showers and also thunderstorms, I think, through the course of next week. So yes, turning warmer, but also turning wetter. But I think the big story will be the warmer, because it has been very chilly across many parts of America just recently. And in fact, the temperature anomaly over the next week, which takes us from the 12th to the 20th of May, is colder than average across many of those central, northern and eastern states. The warm-up is starting in the west, so we've got above average temperatures, hot temperatures across those western states. That's where the warm-up is starting, and as we progress into next week in particular, we will find those warm temperatures gradually spreading out across the rest of the nation. But the anomaly to average from the 12th to the 20th of May is colder than normal, and this just indicates how chilly it has been across many parts of America over the past week or two. The precipitation anomaly from the 12th to the 20th of May looks like that, varying from area to area, generally quite dry across many of those western, southwestern states, as you expect, of course, at this time of year. Many of the northern states and through the Midwest looking pretty dry as well. We come down into these more central states. It does turn a little bit wetter through here, and then we're getting towards the southeast, and it's pretty dry around Florida. A bit mixed up the eastern seaboard. Right, let's have a look at GFS then. So this is how things are currently set up across America. The main thing is this big ridge of high pressure that's sitting across these central and eastern states. This is a cool ridge. Despite that ring to May, you expect high pressure at this time of year to be yielding relatively hot weather. Actually, this is a cool ridge sitting here over central and eastern parts of America. It's pulling in pretty cool air from the north. So we have a look at the upper air temperatures. You can see they are really quite cold. We've already established it on the graph. They're really quite cold, certainly for the time of year anyway, through the Midwest and into the east as well. What heat there is in the west, and particularly in this southwestern corner, where the heat through California, Arizona, for example, is really building up. Now, you go through the next few days, we're going to find this ridge gradually slipping further and further eastwards. So it starts to pull up hotter air into the west. So initially, the warm-up, we know it's already quite hot in the southwest corner. Initially, the warm-up will be through this western side. Generally, the central and eastern states are going to stay pretty cool up to the weekend under this area of high pressure. Won't be a lot of dry weather under that high pressure, but pretty cool. Now, we go through later into the weekend and into next week, and we find that the upper air temperatures are just beginning to start edging up slightly across these northern and east states. Notice we've lost the green colours, and we're going more towards the yellow colours now of the upper air temperature. It's still below average at this point. The heat is still in the west, where it is pushing northwards into like the northwest. But many of these eastern, central, midwestern states, they're still looking quite cool, albeit not as cool as currently by the weekend. Now, to next week, this gradual warming process will continue as the high pressure then starts to come centre more towards the eastern seaboard, and that allows the southerly winds to push up from the Gulf and from Mexico and to start dragging up those hotter temperatures. So you can see that by Tuesday, for example, next week, it is looking significantly warmer now across many parts of the states. However, as pressure is weakening, you see there is a bit of a weakening of the pressure just here, for example, in the Midwest. As pressure is weakening, we might start to spark off some heavy showers and maybe even some thunderstorms. I think that'll be the trend through the rest of next week, as this high pressure, again, it's centred over the east coast, over the eastern seaboard, drawing up these southerly winds. But there's a general weakening of pressure going on. It's low pressure in the northwest that will bring cool and wet weather into the far northwestern side of America by way. That's very typical close to the Pacific coast. But the general weakening of pressure through next week will start to allow things to become more unstable, and there'll be a growing risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms breaking out quite widely across America, I think, through the middle and second half next week. That's how things are set up on Thursday next week. So again, the high pressures in the Atlantic, just off the east coast, drawing up these very warm or hot southerly winds across many parts of the states. Look at the difference in the upper air temperatures. They really are warming up significantly. But again, as the pressure is weakening away from the east coast anyway, there will be a growing threat with these hotter temperatures of significant thunderstorms breaking out and heavy showers. We're up to day 10 now. It looks like generating an area of low pressure through the Midwest, so that could bring more general areas of thundery rain and or thunderstorms perhaps. Meanwhile, out in the west, it's all very slack, as you expect this time of year, so the heat will continue to build out in west, and of course through like Arizona, Nevada, it'll be mainly dry and hot through there. And the east coast probably getting an increasing risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms, and they're extending up in towards the northeast as well, I would have thought, by day 10. Look at the upper air temperatures, how much warmer, how much hotter they are across most parts of America. Only the far northwest looking pretty cool now, close to that Pacific coast. So a really big change on the way to something much, much warmer in the in sort of the days 7, 8, 9, 10 time frame. Moving into the extended range, we start to try and build this ridge down from Canada, so trying to pull some cooler air in from the north across northern states. So we see the upper air temperature beginning to lower in the northeast. At the same time, though, still looking very hot through the central states, pretty cool out towards the northwest once again. And then we get to the end of this GFS run, and again, we've got this big ridge here sitting over the east and out into the Atlantic, but will start to pull up, or will continue to pull up, very warm or hot air from the south. So that little incursion of cooler air from Canada into the northeast doesn't last very long, and that's quickly pushed back north again by these hot southerly to southeast winds. That's how the upper air temperatures look as we come to the end of this GFS run on Friday, the 28th of May. Really hot by this point now through the southwestern states, so intense heat building up through there. Very typical, of course. That's where hottest weather it always is in America, in that southwestern corner. But that's real extreme heat building there. But just generally a very warm scene across many parts of America. Hot scene, which will take temperatures widely into the low, probably even mid-80s Fahrenheit. I would have thought, of course, in the southwestern corner will be well over 100 Fahrenheit by this point. In the far northwest, yes, it will be cooler there, close to the Pacific coast. This is how the Euro is looking, ECM. So again, high pressure is sitting over many parts of America at the moment, but it's a cool ridge bringing cool air down from Canada into that ridge as the upper air temperature shown, but again through the Midwest into the east. It's a very chilly scene. What heat there is restricted to the far west and southwestern side of America. Over the next few days, that cool ridge will gradually ease its way eastwards and allow warmer air to begin to infiltrate into the ridge from the south. Through next week, there's a general weakening of pressure taking place as we draw up this warmer air from the south. So not only will it turn warmer through the course of next week, it will also start to turn more volatile as well, with an increasing risk of thunderstorms. The heat initially is pushing up the western side, so look how hot it is all the way up to the Canadian border here in the western part of America. Got plus 20 Celsius ice firm, so a real heat wave pushing up the west coast through the western side, as it is a little bit away from the coast. A real heat wave pushing up the western side through the early part of next week, but that warmth is being just spread out across those central, eastern, northern and midwestern states as well, so definite warm-up taking place through the course of next week, and that trend continues into the second half of next week, albeit with an increasing risk of heavy showers and thunderstorms as we see a general weakening of pressure and draw up the air from the south. So very much in line with what GFS is showing up to day 10, looking very warm or hot across many parts of America actually by day 10, which is Saturday the 22nd of May, but watch out for those thunderstorms. Right, let's just have a look at the CFS V2, see what's going to happen in the more extended range. So these are 500 millibar heights, break it down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 11th through to the 17th of May. The coming week has this trough of low pressure that's being pushed away to the west and to the northwest as the ridge is building in from the Atlantic. So eventually we'll get a transition from, relatively cool and unsettled weather into much more anticyclonic type conditions. This is week 2, and this is the 18th through to 24th of May. Now we've got a big ridge through these eastern states that draws up the air from the south, so that should start to bring much warmer, hotter air up from the south. Looking a little bit cool in the far northwest. So we're bringing in the air off the Pacific into the far northwest, but most parts of America should be warming up with those southerly southwesterlies. Into week 3, which is the 25th to the 31st of May. Again, a ridge in the west, otherwise looking rather slack, so we might be starting to generate a trough within the warm upper air temperatures through those central and eastern states. And then we get through to week 4, which is going to be the 1st through to the 7th of June. A ridge out towards the northwest and up into Canada. Through here, there's also a ridge down in the southwestern part of America, otherwise very slack with the gradients. So I would imagine it's probably still very warm, maybe pretty hot, bringing the air up from the south, but could be volatile. So let's put in some sort of a lightning type of signal, which doesn't really look like lightning signal at all, does it? But you get the idea of what we can expect. So this is a temperature anomaly for week 1 across the states. This is the 11th to 17th of May. Hot in the west and in the southwest. Otherwise, very cool still. Certainly starting off very cool. The transition to warmer temperatures widely across America begins, over the weekend and particularly into next week. All changed for week 2, which is the 18th to the 24th of May. The cool weather is being squeezed away, or the colder weather is being squeezed away to the northwest. Still looking hot across the west and southwest. The real change is through the midwest and into the east, where the temperatures are becoming significantly hotter then. Week 3 actually returns things a little bit cooler again with the CFS across these more southern and eastern states. That's the 25th to the 31st of May. Coming rather cooler away from the west, where it is pretty hot. And then we go through to week 4, where we have no particular signal. This is the 1st through the 7th of June. Generally hot in the west, otherwise average to cool, really, in many parts of America. I think the CFS might be being a little bit stingy with the temperatures there. Precipitation-wise, for the next 4 weeks, if you look like that, so dry this week in the northwest, and in the east, the northeast, and through Midwest, wettest in the southern states and in the southeastern states as well. Week 2 is the 18th through to the 24th of May. And off the east coast, it's dry. We've got that ridge of high pressure, but then sort of the northeast to the south looking quite wet. So they're going to be heavy showers and thunderstorms being triggered by the increasing heat and humidity being drawn up from the south. The northwest still looking relatively dry. Week 3, which will be the 25th to the 31st of May, drier than average in these northern states, wettest in the southeastern parts of America, interestingly. And then week 4 just generally looking quite unsettled. We see the 1st to the 7th of June. So CFS then predicting rather above average rainfall. Almost certainly again from big showers and thunderstorms, I would have thought. So, yeah, the real storyline, let's just put webcam back up. So the real storyline is going to be the warm-up that's going to be taking place over the next, over the next few days. So, as we've already established, it's starting off very, very, very cool across many parts of America at the moment. Away from the west, it's really, really cool for time of year. Those temperatures will be lifting up over the rest of the week, and particularly, I think, over the weekend into the early part of next week is when many of the Midwestern and Eastern and Northeast states will start to feel this warm-up. The warm-up begins in the west and will gradually spread out across the nation. And into next week, as I say, it will be significantly warmer then. But also, watch out for those intense thunderstorms becoming perhaps quite widespread across many parts of America as the increasing heat and humidity develops volatility. And we really spark things off. So, yeah, an interesting week of changes coming up. If you enjoyed USA Forecast, please smash the like button. Let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We do a USA Forecast every Wednesday. So, check that next week for the latest. We'll be back later on with your 10 to 14-day update, which will include all regular features. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.